Okay, in this video about JasmyCoin, I want to check out this part of the price action and see, is it now time for a big break and a huge move on the upside, or maybe something else is going to be in play? And also, I am going to talk to you about the bullish scenario overall and why am I so optimistic in Jasmy. So with that said, hi everyone, welcome back. I hope you are having a great time with your family and loved ones. And if you remember, the last time that we talked about JasmyCoin, we were somewhere around these areas, and I was saying for a couple of reasons, I am actually very optimistic about this move on the upside. Number one, in terms of classic TA, meaning support and resistances, we got this move up off of this very important broken resistance area, which was a very bullish sign for us. And number two, this move down right in here was very weak. Instead, this move up was actually quite strong. And to me, that suggested maybe the bottom is going to begin right in here. Did we have some other reasons to be optimistic? Yes, you see, if you are a new viewer, and I do know that a lot of you are, you should know that if you want to argue, for example, in terms of Elliot Waves, we're going to have our final bottom somewhere around here. Maybe this is like a very important support. Then okay, you need to be able to find off of the lowest low in this region a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up. This specific example is a normal 5 wave. The rules for it are, we shouldn't have overlapping of the waves between wave 2 and 4 and in any kind of impulsive movement. Wave 3 right in here should not be the smallest wave, and in terms of the sub waves, you know it if you are a regular viewer, we are going to have 5 wave up into wave 1, 3 and 5. Let's just do this. And for wave 2 and 4, we can have many different patterns. Doesn't really matter a whole lot. Let's just do this. Okay, let's say maybe sure ABC into 4 and a WXY structure into wave 2. Understood? Okay, let's go on the live chart and count some waves and see why we were bullish when we had this move up and followed by that this pullback. So here is the deal. In my opinion, this looked back then a lot like a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave up, and followed by that, we talked about it, I believe, in the previous video. This move down right in here was quite weak. So what did we have? Basically 5 wave up and then a correction structure on the downside, which to me it meant maybe the bottom is in, and this is actually a 1-2 structure. And as you can see, we did continue our move on the upside, and so far we are definitely going according to the bullish scenario. Now I want to be very clear, just because this played out as we expected doesn't mean that I am right 100% of the time. This is absolutely not true. I'm just trying to get it right 6 out of 10 times. This just happened to be one of those times that I was right. Now, before we talk about this region right in here, let me tell you why overall I am so optimistic in JasmyCoin, and let's actually go on a less busy chart because I want to show you some other structures. Let's go on Coinbase as well. There we go. And maybe go on daily time frame. So here is the situation. First, what is going on in this move on the downside, and let's actually compare it to this huge move on the upside. How long did it take for us to have this move down? About, let's say, 150 candlesticks. Now, in the same period of time, we had, as you can see, a big move up starting from these lows around, let's say, 0.005 to about the highest high in this region around $4.50. So what's the message in here? Basically, despite having way more than enough time in this phase, it seemed like, to me at least, that bears absolutely 100% failed to pull the price all the way back down here. And to me, this suggests that there's a very high chance that bulls at the moment do have the upper hand. Now, let's have another comparison. How long did it take for us to have this move on the upside starting from this point to somewhere around the recent price action? As you can see, about 27 days. On the other hand, in the same period, as you can see, we just had this choppy price action, and overall this move down starting from this point to about here took us how long? Let's just measure it. There we go. As you can see, around 100 days. And in a 25-day move, we completely covered this move on the downside. And to me, this is another sign that suggests the bottom is in and bulls most likely at the moment do have the upper hand. Now, in terms of Elliot waves, this point right in here around, let's say 0.0027 is the lowest low, and off of it, what do we have? In my opinion, a very clear 5-wave up and then a correction structure down. We talked about the subwaves in here. This to me seems like that is actually an A, B, C zigzag, and on a high degree, there's a very high chance we are having a 1-2, and this huge move up is into wave 3, followed by that this whole move down. We talked about it. It's a very weak move, which is a characteristic of a correction, and it might be, according to this scenario, into wave 4, and after it's over, or maybe, in my opinion, it's over already, we're gonna have another big move up into wave 5. And in terms of the targets, the minimum one is going to be taking the highest high in this region around 4.5 cents. So that's why, as long as we're not taking the highest high in here, I am absolutely 100% going to remain bullish in JasmyCoin, and every single analyst should have a very important invalidation point for his bullish or maybe bearish possibility, and I do have it, and that comes down to classic TA. You see, we are having a very important support area in this region, which is from weekly and daily time frame at the same time. And as long as we are above it, I'm going to be bullish on JasmyCoin. However, if we get a big move down and we actually break this support, okay, at that point, fair enough, I'm going to change my tone and be bearish. But for now, I don't really see a whole lot of reasons to be negative about JasmyCoin. I think this is a correction, and this move up, to me, it seems like that is actually an impulsive structure, which means our move up is going to continue for quite some time. So this is why overall I am so, for now, optimistic in JasmyCoin. Now, let's go back on our own chart and see what is happening in the short term. There we go. So here is the situation. There are many possibilities in here going on, but I would argue the most sensible one is to say this is maybe a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5-wave up, and this might be a correction structure, something like this, maybe in form of a triangle. Doesn't really matter a whole lot, and after it's over, we're gonna get another big move on the upside, and on a high degree, this can be a 1, 2, decent move up into wave 3, correction for 4, and then another move up into wave 5. Now, this is a possibility, do not get me wrong, but I think we might actually have much more bullish scenarios in here going on. However, for now, I do not want to get your hopes up that much. Let's just for now stick with this scenario that suggests we are at least going to have another move up into this wave 5. And here is a very important point. You see, this move up into wave 3 didn't actually get a whole lot extended. Let's just measure the length of our supposedly wave 1 from this point to about here and compare it to our wave 3. As you can see, they are really not that different in terms of size. That's why I want to say extension didn't actually happen into this wave 3 nor this wave 1. And I want to argue that it actually might happen, at least according to this count, into wave 5. So what's the message in here? After this correction, I believe we're going to get a move up in JasmyCoin, and this thing right in here is actually going to get quite extended, and maybe we are going to see a big move up in order to even take the highest high around 4.5 cents. I think that is definitely possible. Now, should we at the moment go long on JasmyCoin? In my opinion, it's actually best to wait a little bit. Why is that? Because as you can see, we are at the moment under this very important resistance area, and I do believe that we are going to break it. But just to make sure, let's wait a little bit more and see a move up above this region, followed by that a pullback, and then a continuation of the move in order to take this high. At that point, we can say, look, we absolutely broke this very important area, and because above it, we're not having a whole lot of strong resistances, and also in terms of Elliot waves, we are looking extremely bullish. Well, okay, makes sense to say that our move up first is going to accelerate quite a bit, and second is going to continue for quite some time, and the minimum target after breaking this region, believe me, is going to be taking the highest side around 4.5 cents. So let's have a quick conclusion and wrap up today's video. In my opinion, at the moment, everything in JasmyCoin is bullish, and we can have many different possibilities in here, but there is one point common between all of them. There is a very high chance that, in my opinion, our move up is just not over, and soon we are going to see JasmyCoin break this very important area, and at that point our move up, I'm willing to bet that it's actually going to accelerate quite a bit. And I think as we go forward, we are just getting closer and closer to the moment of a big break in JasmyCoin. So I hope I explained everything well and you understood what is going on in JasmyCoin's chart. Anyway, if you found any value in my content, I would really appreciate if you like this video and consider subscribing to my channel and follow me on Twitter. And if you want more, maybe you want a complete analysis for your own specific crypto, or maybe you want to learn some decent TA in order to be able to make good money in the markets, you can become a member and ask me anything you want. And until the next video, I hope you have a wonderful time with your family and loved ones. Goodbye.